Yes, indeed. Meanwhile, Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, while formally launching the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, GERD, hailed it as the greatest achievement in the history of the black race. Abiy, alongside Kenya's President William Ruto and Djibouti's President Ismail Guleb, unveiled a plaque before powering up the turbines. Now, the dam will help electrify the country as well as provide power to the region. It is constructed with 11 million cubic meters of concrete and has created a huge reservoir called Lake Nigat, which means dawn in the Amharic language. Now, people from all walks of life contributed to building the dam through donations and the purchase of government-issued bonds. And despite claims by U.S. President Donald Trump that Washington financially supported the dam's construction, Addis Ababa maintains it was fully funded domestically. Now, for Ethiopia, the GERD Dam has become a symbol of national pride, and in Abiy's view, it has placed his country firmly on the world stage.
በንግግር መግለጥ አይቻልም መጥቶ ያየ ሰው ብቻ ነው ልኩን
Photos, videos and words do not do the GERD justice. Only those who see it in person can understand its worth. I hope and pray that this generation comes to see the dam, and I invite all black people to do the same. It alone demonstrates that we, as black people, can achieve anything we plan. It is the biggest achievement in the history of black people.
There was a time in which I came here and Addis Ababa was dark. There was no light. Power shed every day, and there was no light for the people. Now, it was a nation into the darkness. Now there is light everywhere. Now Ethiopia can sell energy to the neighboring country. You imagine that?
Now, to analyze the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam and its significance for Africa's infrastructure, energy independence, and regional cooperation, Dr. Omale, International Affairs Analyst, joins me now. Thank you very much for joining us on Newsnight.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, this must pass as the 9th wonder of the world. I mean, would I be exaggerating to describe this dam that has been also described as the greatest feat in the history of the black race? Let's talk about the symbolism of it and, of course, what it really does mean for Africa, especially that region.
Well, it is very heartwarming to see that an African country has been able to put together this massive infrastructure. A dam worth about $5 billion. It's not a tea party. And I must commend Ethiopia for this initiative. These are the kind of projects that we need in this part of the world. A situation whereby many countries in the African continent are still grappling with issues of power, to power homes and to power industries. This type of project is commendable because it can jumpstart any economy. It can add value to any economy. A situation whereby they will be producing almost 5,000 megawatts of electricity, yes. Which is almost what we are generating in Nigeria.
In Nigeria, come to think of it.
So you can imagine that it is a very, very laudable project. And I think Ethiopia needs to be commended by all Africans and all people that desire development on the African continent.
But the countries of that region, especially Egypt and Sudan, have had reservations about this dam and what the impact it would have on their own, livelihood and, of course, their own economy. Are their concerns valid? How do you think Ethiopia can actually work around this to make other countries within the region and indeed the rest of Africa to understand that this is mutually beneficial? It will benefit everyone.
Well, it depends on how the negotiations or discussions are handled. I'm aware that there have been a series of meetings, but there was a treaty even in the colonial times, in the 20s, where Egypt was virtually given control over the Nile.
About 80%
Yes.
by Britain.
Yes, about the Nile. And Ethiopia is saying no. In 2025, we cannot be tied down by such colonial treaties. The water emanates from our place. We are upstream, so we have the right to dam the water and utilize it to generate power. We will try as much as possible to mitigate the impact on the downstream, that is on Sudan and Egypt. And I think Ethiopia has opened up discussions. We have similar scenario in Nigeria from the Lagdo Dam.
Yes.
You see that when the water is released, we experience flooding here in Nigeria. So I know that at a point there were agreement between the three countries to release some amount of water into a reservoir, which is supposed to be collected at Aswan Dam
in Egypt.
No, Nasser Dam, Nasser
okay.
Dam in Egypt, and they were supposed to be releasing about 40 cubic meter of water into that reservoir, which will assuage the feeling of Egypt. But I agree that Egypt's apprehension is understandable. Understandable in the sense that if the Ethiopians cannot adequately accommodate Egyptian worries or fears,
yes,
then it will not be good enough because 90% of the water, fresh water consumed in Egypt or utilized in Egypt flows from the Nile. And if the water is being dammed in Ethiopia, definitely it will cause drought in Egypt, or it will cause shortage of water in Egypt, and it will also affect Egypt's capacity to generate hydropower electric to also power Egypt. So there need to be some understanding, and I'm happy that President Donald Trump and the Americans are trying to see how they can bring all the parties to the negotiation.
Yeah, he actually did that in 2019,
yes,
though he claims that there was some support, financial support, in building the dam. But let's even talk about that. I mean, what lessons, considering the fact that funding, 100% of the funding actually came from domestic donors, from Ethiopians, and of course diaspora Ethiopians, raising that kind of money to build such a humongous project. What does it say about the possibility for Africa to, engage in such huge projects? As I ask you that question, I'm reminded of the Dangote refinery. I mean, $20 billion worth of refinery. What are the possibilities for Africa that really we don't have to depend on the, outside world?
Yes, I think it has shown that we in Africa, we have alternative to foreign loans or foreign aids or foreign donations. Ethiopia has demonstrated the capacity of Africans to be able to fund such projects. What gladdens my heart is that government bonds were issued and oversubscribed. A lot of people put in their money, and also citizens donated, even from war-ravaged areas such as Tigray region.
Right.
Yes, Ethiopians contributed to that project. And it's a lesson. Rather than taking foreign loans with very stringent conditionalities, with huge interest rates, either from the World Bank or from the European Union or from some countries in the Western world, countries of the South can understudy how Ethiopia was able to use what they have to build such a project. And let me say that in Africa we are very blessed. We have,
no doubt,
we have a lot of opportunity for renewable energy, such as the Gad Dam, and in most parts of Africa, you see Lake Victoria, you see the River Benue and Niger, you see the Zambezi River, you see so many resources that we can use to harness together and power our systems rather than relying on fossil fuel, relying
Yes.
on
Which brings me to the point of balancing energy needs, with climate responsibility.
Yes.
It's been said over and over again, Africa's carbon footprint is not that much, but we're the receiving end of it. How do we balance our energy needs with climate responsibility, especially in this case?
Yes,
Very quickly.
Africa will have a lot of natural water sources, which, if properly harnessed, take Nigeria for example, look at the massive inland waterways that we have.
Yes.
If these dams can be properly harnessed, we can contribute significantly to Africa's quest for renewable energy or energy transition. There are other sources, wind, solar, there are other opportunities of renewable energy that we have on this continent which will help enhance climate change. So I want to urge Nigerian government, I want to urge our policymakers to begin to look towards it. One thing I like about hydropower stations in the mode of the GAD is that in addition to even providing power, clean renewable energy, it also provides opportunity for irrigation, also provide opportunity for provision of potable water to the citizenry.
So it can solve multiple problems on different fronts.
And also to address the impact of climate change.
Yes.
Because once the rain is there's no rainfall or shortage of rainfall, water from the dam can address such gaps. Such gaps. So I think most African countries must learn that for us to meet up with our climate change challenges, we need to bring up innovative programs and projects such as the GAD Dam, which should be able to solve most of the power problems that we have. Because it's not only Ethiopia that is having this energy crisis. It's almost across. Nigeria is one where generators are all over the place, causing noise pollution and also emitting carbon monoxide and greenhouse gases all over the place, which is also a very serious threat to climate.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. Dr. Dali Omale is International Affairs Analyst, joining us on discussions on the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, which has been described as the greatest feat in the history of the black race. Well done, Ethiopia, for showing the way.